Hey everybody, and welcome to the Animal Crossing's New Horizons preview. I suspect a huge percentage of the population has either played this game and really enjoys it, or they have no interest in it. But this video is for those that don't really know what Animal Crossing is about, and they just kind of want to have a basic idea of what the game does. If you're not really into social sim games, then yeah, this is really the video that's for you. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Let's jump into it and figure out what Animal Crossing is. So just what is Animal Crossing and what makes it different from other social sim games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon or even The Sims? Well, the first Animal Crossing game was released in 2001, and it was a near identical port of a Japanese Nintendo 64 game called Animal Forest. The social sim genre wasn't nearly as popular as it is today. The Sims had just released in 2000 on PC, and Harvest Moon was the only other game remotely similar. Animal Crossing brought two very unique ideas to the mix: the real-time clock and the virtual absence of any significant consequence, penalties, game over screens, enemies, combat, or really drama of any sort. The series has kept that formula ever since. The gameplay is open-ended and generally consists of talking to the anthropomorphic animals that live in your village, running errands, planting flowers, catching fish and insects, and eventually working towards paying off your loan for your house and then upgrading your house. The Animal Crossing series is a casual life sims that's oozing with Nintendo charm, soft, relaxing music, and colorful characters that millions of players around the world have fallen in love with. We mentioned earlier that the real-time clock is one of the ideas that Animal Crossing brought to the genre. So what is the real-time clock and how does it work? In Animal Crossing, the game clock is effectively the time on the console. When an hour passes in real life, an hour passes in the game. In the short term, the time of day you choose to play the game affects what events will occur in the game. If you turn the game on at midnight, certain shops will likely be closed, but it's the perfect time to catch nocturnal fish or animals. On a larger scale, different events and holidays occur on different dates, which yield chances for large cash payouts, rare furniture sets, and other unique bonuses. I want to stress that there's no in-game method to manipulate the time. There's no mechanic for it, so you can't play the Song of Time and return to dawn of the first day. You can't sleep in a bed to warp to the next day, and you can't fast forward or slow down time. So what do you do in Animal Crossing? Well, Animal Crossing is a very much do whatever you want game. Think of a sandbox like a small sandbox with safety limits. There are no enemies to attack you, so you can park your character next to the ocean and listen to the waves and some soft music, or you can go out and you can try and catch bugs, or you can go pick flowers. One of the most engaging aspects of Animal Crossing is the high level of customization, but collecting items is also a huge part of the game. Everything from common bugs to rare fossils and paintings. The players can grow fruit and vegetables, and the more rare and valuable, the more bells or the in-game currency they can earn. These bells are then used to pay off their house loan or to upgrade or buy something that's there available in a shop. Items can be traded with other players, and communication with other players has always been a staple of Animal Crossing. With the new Nook app, players will be able to voice and text chat via their phone with players in the game. This has led to a thriving economy that even has its own subreddit. Additionally, a family can have up to 8 individuals in their own town sharing the island and building it together. This means that Mom, Dad, Sally, Susie, Johnny, and Jim can all be on the same Switch and play, and have all of them have a different house and they all work on the same island. So this is actually kind of a family-friendly idea. As for actual mechanics, here's a list just to give you an idea of what you can do. There's fishing and catching bugs, upgrading and decorating the interior and exterior of the house, talking to animals and performing short quests for them. You can also design pixel art patterns for use in clothing, flags, furniture, and more. Simple errands such as picking weeds, planting flowers, or paying off your debt to unlock more upgrades. Digging up and identifying fossils to sell or display in a museum. Playing the special holiday events. Visiting other players' towns to trade or compare towns. Fishing and bug catching tournaments and community events on holidays also grant you special limited edition items. In short, the goal of Animal Crossing has always been you're dropped into a procedurally generated town, you pay off debts by selling items to unlock new features and upgrades, and you can do it all at your own pace. This can take months, if not years, to see and experience everything. So I said that the game has no consequences, and I did, and that's both true and not true, so let me explain that real quick. In the games like The Sims, your sim can die from performing dangerous actions. In Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, you can lose a lot of money if you don't care about your farms. In Animal Crossing, a game that focuses on the passage of time, there's no time limits. Nook will never harass you about your debts. Getting stung by bees or bitten by mosquitoes only delay you a little and give you a puffy face. You won't starve, you won't lose money as a punishment for anything, and nothing you build can ever be destroyed. So while The Sims may be slightly more realistic about giving you a genuine life simulation? Animal Crossing lets you live out an idyllic fantasy life that lets you escape for a while from the hustle and bustle of real life. You can indeed lose a little bit of money by planting fruit trees in the wrong spot, or by letting turnips spoil and not selling them in time. And once in a while, you might get bit by a spider or stung by a bee, but beyond that, there's no video gamey type game overs or penalties. So what's different about New Horizons? Well, New Horizons is the biggest departure for the series, if you don't include the spin-off games, and it's the first release for the major line since 2012. In classic Animal Crossings, you're dropped off in an established town. Other villagers already live there, and there are already shops. You're just a resident in the town, and it's not really the player's town. In the past, players occasionally had the opportunity to decide where certain structures go, and in New Leaf, the player had more control than ever, being the mayor. In New Horizons, however, players start in a completely empty, deserted island along with 2 other random villagers. Players will then be the resident representative and decide where people set up their tents, and that those will eventually become their houses, and they decide who gets to move in and when. There are a few quality of life updates within the game, such as the tool wheel, which let you rapidly go through and select your tools. There's a full crafting system, which is new for the series. Collecting resources and building your own furniture will be an important part of this game, and probably part of the thriving economy as well. There's no touchscreen support, nothing new there. However, things like moving furniture is no longer push and drag, but pick up and drop. You can change your terrain at will to include ramps and waterfalls and cliffs and stairs. People are going nuts over the stairs. And you can also visit other people's islands. Yes, people can bring axes and shovels to your island, but they have to register as best friends to be able to use them in New Horizons, so nobody can wreck your town. But this really gives customization to a whole new level. You can create rivers, cliffs, waterfalls. You can make your island so much more traversable just by allowing them to have bridges instead of having to use like vaulting poles. Additionally, players can now select the northern or southern hemisphere, and that will matter for what season their character is experiencing during what month. This is kind of nice for all the people that are playing down in Australia. I mean, they always had like stuff backwards from their seasons. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but Animal Crossings will have several mobile apps supported, including Pocket Camp. Now, this isn't a full crossover, but there's some back and forth between it. The Nintendo app, and the Nook Link, which will let players use voice and text chat in-game as well as add designs via QR codes. Now, there's one huge difference, which is there's a new autosave feature, which means Mr. Rossetti needs to find a job in New Horizons. This also means that players can no longer reset the game via turning it off without saving. Nintendo has added a new in-game currency, Nook Miles, to the game, and these complement the usual bells and are used to purchase premium content. I suspect that watching the recent Nintendo Direct will have the best at showing you all the new features, and I'll link it up there in the content card or down in the description below. One big departure is that the holiday events are not in the base game, but will be added through updates, and this is probably to prevent time traveling. So I've heard the term time traveling a few times. What does that mean? With Animal Crossing's clock tied to the internal clock of your Nintendo console, time traveling is a very controversial practice of adjusting your console's internal clock in the system settings for in-game bonuses. This can be as simple as setting the clock half an hour earlier so that you can get to the shop on time to sell your items, or setting the clock 8 months into the future to do holiday events. Time traveling is a very divisive issue between Animal Crossing fans. It looks like Nintendo is trying to get away from the in-game bonuses during the holidays by just not adding them into the game right away and just doing them via updates. Animal Crossing is a game that can demand a lot of time, though not necessarily all at once. Playing for 30 minutes a day will get you so much more done than binging once a week on the weekend. Not everyone can commit to playing every day or even every other, and time traveling can help you see what the shops have throughout the week and give you a lot more opportunities to get cool items you'd otherwise have missed. By setting the clock back a few hours, you can unload your stash. There's also arguments against time traveling, and people usually post spoilers on forums and subreddits. In the original Animal Crossings, Nook would build a golden statue of your character in front of the train station once you'd finally gotten the final house upgrade. It took many, many long months for most people to get there, even if you found a way to make very large amounts of money very quickly. It still takes several days of construction to get the house finished. However, with time traveling, the current world record speedrun is under 20 minutes. Regardless of what anyone tells you, Animal Crossing does have an economy. It is disheartening for people who work hard to find rare items and want to trade it online, example, the kids, only for other players who have used time traveling to acquire large quantities of them and push the price down. At the end of the day though, it's your console and your game. You can play how you like. Is Animal Crossing safe for my kids? Animal Crossing's New Horizons is rated E for everyone. There will be comic mischief, but I'll give Nintendo credit for excellent parental controls. You can check out my other video on establishing parental controls linked on the screen and in the description below. And you can check out Nintendo's video, which is absolutely adorable. So yeah, I really recommend going and watching that too. But it does have online connectivity and the ability to talk to other people within the game itself. So yes, parental control needs to be established if young kids are going to play this, and just make sure that kids aren't putting themselves in a bad spot, basically. New Horizons is a doubly safe environment for learning, discovery, and play. It's a video game that does not pose real-world harm. A digital bee sting makes the character swell up a little, but a real-world bee sting might send a few people to the ER. And with the removal of violence and harsh language, kids have the freedom to explore the island, cause and effect, read. No, really, they have to read. The animals don't actually speak, they just have chat bubbles. And many other things without the possibility of starving or killing their character. Here's the million-dollar question. Will I like New Horizons? Here's some of the reasons why I think people might like Animal Crossings, and they should probably play it if they enjoy these things. If you enjoy cute, wholesome games, there's little to no sadness going on here. It's just a game about living on a peaceful island with animal friends and being able to show off to your friends. If you enjoy a little bit of a grind, or you want to use the grind to kind of teach a point, you need money in this game to progress through the upgrades. None of the upgrades are game changing, but they give you a larger house or a second floor, or allow you to build structures like bridges and shops. That said, just about everything you do in this game translates to making money. So if you want to teach your kids about the value of money, this might be a good way to do it. The main mechanic of this game is the passage of time and watching things grow. This is the kind of game for people who want to play a game for months, if not years. Consider avoiding Animal Crossings if you're looking for a game that can be completed in a week and move on. This isn't a 10 to 20 hour adventure game. This game doesn't ask you to binge it for long hours into the night, but it does want you to be playing it fairly regularly over a long period of time. If you're looking for something action heavy or exciting, something to get your pulse racing, this game is about peace and zen and just getting you to relax and have fun. Now, I tried Animal Crossings back in the day, and I really didn't like it on Wii because that wasn't my game style at that point in time. Now that I'm a dad and now that I'm married, I really think that this game might have a shot in my library. That being said, my wife really enjoyed it when she was playing it, and I think there are many benefits for me playing it with my sons, teaching them about money and how to just have fun playing some different stuff. I think this is a very appropriate game for younger kids, and I'm going to use it to actually help reinforce the reading lessons that we're doing. Let me know down in the comments below if you plan on getting New Horizons at the end of March and why. Or tell me why you don't plan on getting the game. I'd love to confirm or deny assumptions about the game when we do the review in mid to late April. Anyway, this has been Wes from Ritter Gaming, and I really enjoyed doing this for you guys. Please let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, or anything like that. Grab your controllers and let's play on. This has been Ritter Gaming, and we'll see you next time.